Hey everyone, Evan from the Trade Risk Wednesday, November 19th, bringing you the midweek update, which I've been slacking on because this is the first time in a couple weeks now. So, today was an interesting day. The SPY here, which is what we're looking at now, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500, basically ended just about unchanged, a little bit red on the day, but you can see the nice tail on today's candlestick. So buyers really did kind of step in, supported price at yesterday's lows. Now, we did have the FOMC meeting. Let's jump down to a 30-minute. The FOMC minutes, rather, were out, and so we had that little, effect on our markets. But essentially, we did find support right here around 204.30, which was yesterday's lows, bounced up and finished the day not at the highs, but towards the highs. So really, not a lot has changed. And I think the interesting thing here is that when you look at this chart of the SPY, everything looks fine and dandy, but there are a lot of underlying stocks that are suffering some damage or are not participating in the rally that we've seen. We'll get into those in just a little bit. Let's first look at a couple of other indices here. The IWM, so this was the underperformer today. Back in October, we got this little false breakdown from this larger range. You can see we came up here, and now it looks like, well, today we did fill this little gap, if not filled earlier, and you can see it closed much weaker, and on a percentage basis, definitely underperformed the S&P 500 today. So the small caps here do seem to be where a lot of the tougher trades are to the long side. And then if you look at the Qs here, you can see definitely the strongest of the bunch, still just kind of trending higher. Again, closed on a percentage basis, actually underperformed the S&P 500, but as far as technical damage goes, there's none. So let's look at some other markets here. Gold, this one, still just sort of a mess. It's not something that I've been interested in, not something I really trade in general, but a lot of people do watch it. You had this nice engulfing bar back on this past Friday, and then kind of chopped around at the upper end for the past two trading days. And then, finally the seller started to penetrate a little bit today. We'll see what happens. Still kind of messy. I'd love to see it just kind of base out a little more. Perhaps I would get involved into it if a little base could develop, but for now, not too much to look at. Silver, pretty much the same camp. Same thing here. Nothing that I'm too interested in. Crude oil, this one still basically flirting on the lows here. Trying to maybe stabilize here. You can see the past week of candles are, kind of overlapping here. So again, maybe, a good 2 or 3 weeks sideways might get me a trade back, maybe a reversal trade back up into here if these moving averages can kind of catch up, price can stabilize. But for now, just looks, it's an easier short than a long, but it's come a pretty far way. So both trades are pretty tough. Let's jump into some individual names. Apple, here's a trade we did participate in over this nice breakout here. We got stopped out on this Monday of this week. Yesterday was a nice day. Today chopped around. It looks like it's just trying to find itself here. Still very strong, especially in this space. It definitely, is the leader here. It is trading at all-time highs. So keep it on watch. I'd like to see it just stabilize some more and maybe make another continuation pattern after maybe finishing off this week, just kind of going sideways between 114 and 115. That'd be great. But for now, not too much to say. If you're still in it, looks great. Netflix, here's one. Finally got the breakdown today that I think a lot of people were looking for. This was a big winner for us here at the Trade Risk. We did get involved on the short side around 377.40, and we took some profits at the close, 363 for 14 points captured there. We're still holding half the position into tomorrow. It definitely looks pretty damaged here. This is what we love to trade, is these nice tight ranges, and Netflix definitely for this type of beta stock this is a pretty tight range for it for such a long time, basically a month of trading. So I don't know where this can go. Clearly these lows here post earnings are definitely on the horizon. I certainly don't think it'll get there very soon, if it even gets there. But the point is that at this point for us, we're just going to continue to trail our stop and see what this trade can give us. But for now, it's definitely a pretty damaged. It's pretty damaged. If it wasn't already, now it's starting to roll over. We'll have to see if the bulls can support it here, make a higher low. Certainly possible. Wouldn't be surprised, depending on how this market acts in general too. But for Netflix, the trade right now is to the short side. Google here, this one has been pretty lagging the markets and sort of high beta land for the past couple of weeks, but today it definitely did sort of put in a small little stance here at testing the 540 level. Perhaps something will come of this. Still not very interesting. I need to see it kind of go sideways here. It's still tough. Really it needs to either go some sideways more or really get back above, 560 or so. So it's definitely got its work cut out for it, but given today's tape and what some of the other action, it was it was a good change of pace for Google. Facebook, here's another one we got involved in today. We are short it. We got short around 73.80. We were looking at this breakdown here from all of, basically the past 3 weeks worth of tradings post its earnings release. So you can see this was the big earnings gap down back at the end of October, and then you pretty much see it just go sideways here, chopping around, and we were watching this basically $74 to $76 level for a trade breakout or a breakdown. We did get the breakdown today, so it looks pretty weak. We'll see how it goes. There's definitely more room to run if it does start to really roll over here, but Facebook's it's been a leader. It's still in a larger range here, so it's still maybe going to be a tough trade. It could be a lot of just chop in between this larger $71 to $80, $79 range. It could be a pretty choppy trade, but we'll see what becomes of it. I'm short it from 73.80. Let's see how it continues. Twitter, kind of the same boat as Facebook. Did see some weakness today. Did get a close below $40, and definitely still weak. Again, post its earnings gap down, it's been just slogging sideways in a real just messy type of fashion. So we'll see. I mean, it definitely showing signs of trying to stabilize, but at this point, it still looks guilty of kind of heading lower. And I would definitely favor the short side. Definitely below today's lows, looks like it could get lost in some more further downside action. So got to be careful with Twitter. Just trying to hang on all it can. Amazon, this one's been really strong recently. It's just hanging out here. Performed pretty well today, given everything. You can see it was up actually. Yeah, I mean, up 0.5% today was pretty damn good. It's just kind of hanging in between, trapped inside these two significant levels, 330 to 320, this range that you can see it spent a lot of time in prior this year, in this little band of sort of resistance or point of control between the bulls and the bears. So we'll see what happens here. Definitely been strong, looks good. Tough to get me too excited about Amazon, really. I'd love to see this just go sideways for a week or two and then make a break for this 330 level, get above 332. I think that'd be a nice trade, but for now, not really too interesting to me. Tesla, next one here, gap down, been pretty strong recently, still sort of holding this little trend line going up from the lows here at 218 up to 247. So, you can see it's just trying to make some progress. It could be a big bear flag that ends up breaking down, but for now, needs some more time, still sort of sloppy. Again, I think to really excite me, it's got to clear all this resistance here above this band, 260 to 265. Above there starts to get me a lot more interested being long. For now, just looks like sort of a headache, but we'll see. It's been performing decently as of recently. GoPro, here's one that definitely got hit today. And it looked pretty promising these past few days, but today just really kind of gave it all back. GoPro, the one thing I'll say here is that it's still holding this little gap here that it made back on, oh man, I assume that was earnings. I'm pretty sure it was, maybe it wasn't, some type of event back here on the 31st of October. So we'll say it's earnings, if not, correct me. But it held in here and it didn't just give it all back and completely roll over. So I think GoPro is, definitely an interesting name here. I'd like to just see it continue to go sideways and just continue to firm up and give me something really good to trade against. It looks like 85 sort of the mark here. So maybe if this can go sideways here, trade between 75 and 85 for another week or two, make a run into the end of the year. I think that's plausible. I think it's good. But really, I'm not going to touch it until it sets something up for me. So we'll just have to keep it on watch. Alibaba here today continued its weakness, broke down from this little horizontal support here around 114, 115, 114 and change. Continued lower today. You could see a little bit of a tail in the bottom, so you could see some perhaps interest perking up at these levels. I think for anybody that missed this run here, from 90 to 120, I think would get interested, especially in these lower 100 area. So, keep it on watch. Clearly nothing yet, not for me anyway. If it goes sideways here a little bit and collect itself, make a run for the highs, or make a retracement back to the highs, I think I would consider getting on board there. But I'd like to see it stabilize a little bit further before just trying to pick a bottom. Next, let's look at Yelp. This one pretty weak here, breaking now. Again, similar situation to like Facebook and Twitter, gap down off of earnings, slog sideways in a fairly tight range, and now it looks like it's trying to break down again. We'll see, the lows back in May are the lows of the year. Perhaps it has a date to test those, but maybe it'll make some type of double bottom with this October 30th bar here down around 55. We'll have to see. Definitely looks on the weaker side. Looks like a great short, especially if you got involved today, and see where it goes. But that's about all I got for Yelp. So here's some names that performed pretty damn well today. Nike. Here's one that was pretty oblivious to sort of the back and forth action that we saw in the indices today. Continues its uptrend, real nice. Tough to want to just buy it here, but we'll have to see what comes of it. Certainly a pocket of strength. Under Armour, kind of the same camp here, the apparel sector, and this had a real nice day, up over 1.5% today. And it's pretty much, this is the challenge here. Is this going to be the $70 to $72 level? Right in here where this previous resistance was, previous highs were, really is going to be the test for Under Armour. But certainly looks good. Went sideways here for about a week, and now today it got a break above it. So that one could be fairly actionable. Another strong performer today is Walmart, and I think really you need to look at like a weekly chart to be impressed, and this is an impressive chart. This is great. I love to see charts like this. This is what I love to trade. Unfortunately, I'm not involved in Walmart, but right above this $80 level, you could see it really just breaking out from multi-year resistance, really. And it's just been acting just as you'd want to see it in terms of a breakout trade. Just real strong today. 1.5% on Walmart on a day like today is definitely a good day for the bulls. So. Everything's all set there. Visa, here's one that, again, tremendous strength back off of its earnings gap here. And this one's just been rocketing higher. You are getting some tight action up here. Nice tight high bull flag. So keep this on watch. You might even get another trade above 252 for some continued action. It is stretched, but that's where the momentum is, so it certainly could continue. Keep it on watch. A few other names. Mobileye, here's one today. I'm not sure when the earnings are in this one, but this one is tightening up a little bit, so keep this on watch. I think above $50 is really where things might get a little interesting if you want to be a little safer, above 52, 53. But keep it on watch. It just looks like it's in this nice little triangle kind of hanging out, but for a recent IPO and for a high beta name, it is pretty tight here, so watch for some price expansion over the next few days. Another one to keep on watch is Mobi, M-O-B-I. Oh, no, sorry, Mobile. Mobileye. This one really tight here, above 980, or even $10 if you want to play a little safer. This one is real tight here. Another recent IPO, so keep this on watch. It could start to move here. Another case of some price expansion that could be setting in pretty soon. Another one to keep on your watch is Lulu. We were involved in this trade earlier. We're out of it now, but take a look at this $46 level. This is a pretty important level. These are pretty significant resistance for the year of 2014. You can see it chopped around in this base here, making highs around 46 until it ultimately failed, and now it's starting to get back above there. I think above 46 really could squeeze here. I mean, you get a lot of air in here all the way up to 53. So, certainly it's not going to make that move in a couple of days, but for a longer term hold. I think above 46 kind of solidifies maybe this the short to intermediate term bottom is in place for Lulu. So keep that on watch. And finally, I'll leave you with Ruby, which this was a nice breakout here today, although the close wasn't that impressive given where it was earlier in the day, trading above $14, and to fade back down to $13.50 is a little worrisome, but again, it is still flirting with a pretty big breakout resistance level here at $13.50. So keep that on watch if you believe in the market to hold up here. I think Ruby is one that could definitely get going. So that's all I have for setups and analysis. Hope you had a good day trading today. Keep everything on watch. I mean, again, just to reiterate, the SPY, when you look at some of these indices here, well, especially the S&P, you can see that things look good here on the surface, but there are a lot of names that are, especially in the high-tech, high beta land too, there are some names that are a little more troublesome. So I think, really you're just seeing a lot of the big leaders, components of the S&P holding up well right now, which is sort of masking some of the other damage under the hood. But, I don't know. It's a tricky market one way or the other. So again, I think it's definitely a stock picker's market. Good luck trading. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.